Well, today I went on a little field trip, I guess one would say, to Chicago, and it was okay. Today was one of 3 days of the MidAm Trade Show in Chicago, Illinois. Um, so I went there, and there were a couple reasons for the horticulture department to go to this. One is to network. Of course, one has to network in one's own field. So we went there. Now, um, I suppose it was kind of my fault for not having a resume on hand, but there was a career center for students. Now, I need an internship for the spring. So I went up to the Career Center and I found I was completely overwhelmed by the amount of people there. And there were quite a few landscape firms, landscape design, landscape architects. I am not going to be qualified to be a landscape architect unless I get a 4-year degree, which is not something I'm looking to do right now. I am in the 2-year degree program for landscape design, which is an associate's degree. Um, so I felt rather unprepared because I didn't have a resume. I felt rather inexperienced because I didn't think of it ahead of time. It's, I'm still in school, so their internship programs might be more comprehensive than I could handle, really. I don't know. Um, but I suppose I could still do a summer internship like next semester, um, next year. Next year, I should say. Um, just for the experience and to kind of learn a little bit more about the industry and the field because I am one of those unfortunate students that did not have an in from the start. You know, a couple of a lot of the students actually either already work in the industry and they're just looking for a degree um, to get further where they work, or they are fresh out of high school and this is where they want to go and they already know someone that's going to give them a job once they get done. And so I feel like I'm at a disadvantage. I guess I'm kind of at an advantage in one sense in that I don't have all these preconceived notions. I'm kind of fresh. I can get a start somewhere and not be like some people that start in the industry, start somewhere already in the industry or already having had a job in the industry kind of have these not so much prejudices, but they have their own way of doing things that the employer may not like. And so I guess that's a slight advantage. I don't know. I might just be pulling things out of my ass. Um, so that was horrifying. Um, Trying to put on my customer service face, my customer service smile, and just speak as though I know what I'm talking about. Um, and after that, I went down to the actual trade show. That was like sensory overload because there was stuff everywhere. There were water features, there were, um, nursery exhibits with actual plant material. There were full size trees in this trade center. There was machinery. Um, you know, this stuff was enormous, and I didn't know how. It was a big convention center, so obviously they could fit it in there, but I can't even imagine the effort it would take to get that all set up. But um, I would imagine that a business with a booth at this trade show would get a lot of business from it. Um, People were handing things out like it was nothing. I got a whole enormous bag full of catalogs from all these different places. because I had to collect at least 3 perennial catalogs for a semester project in my perennials class, and I had to collect at least 2 catalogs from a specific company for my nursery management class, and we were urged to collect catalogs in preparation for our semester project for nursery management, because we actually have to do like a plan, like lay out our own 50-acre nursery, draw up plans and figure out cost for production, only for the trees and the material that goes on the trees, such as binding and tags and things like that. We don't really have to go into like computers and machinery and blah blah blah, thank God. But it was just really overwhelming, and I brought my book bag, which was a big mistake because I didn't trust it on the bus in Chicago. I don't know what could happen, and I had some things in my book bag that I didn't want people to take, so I just took it along with me. And so now my shoulders ache like nothing else. And not only that, I was carrying around like a 20-pound bag full of catalogs the entire day. And then I'm not getting paid for part of the day today. Usually I get paid for 7 hours. And since I was late today because of this, I will be missing some hours on my paycheck, which is quite wonderful because it's not like my paychecks already suck as it is. That's something I'm really thoroughly sick of, is not having any money. I went from a job where I made plenty of money. I bought books last semester thinking, hey, I'll use these. I didn't even think twice about it. I spent $600. And it was just slightly straining. I didn't really notice it. It was just like any other time because my money was always all gone anyway, paying for my house. But now it's just like I can't even afford things. Like, I can't afford to eat. I can barely afford gas to get back and forth. Like, I'm seriously thinking, no joke, about getting like an inflatable bed, or like bringing my sleeping bag over to Kish and sleeping in the back room in media services. That is how broke I am. Like, I seriously don't have money for gas. I got gas, maybe not yesterday, but on my way home the night previous. So 2 nights ago, I got gas, and I drove home from Rochelle to Rockford, which is around 35 miles. Maybe a little less, I don't know. And then I drove to Kish and back from Kish, and then this morning when I drove to Kish, I had about 1/8 of a tank left, and by the time I get home, I'm probably going to have to buy gas again to be able to come to school tomorrow. And that was only $20 worth of gas, and it was $20 of gas, and it's only lasted me 2 days. It's overwhelming. I just don't know what I'm gonna do with myself. I don't know. Hopefully I get a windfall. Who knows?